Hello, I'm here in my Hugh Hefner robe to talk about this OTF knife. Well, OTF knives in general. Kind of like just a little overview of things you might not know if you're new into the OTF knife world. I know it's not very deep. Anyway, so right here I have myself a cheap Mexican knockoff, as we call it. Or Chinese knockoff, or whatever you are call it. Not being racial, but just, cheap things come from China, usually. But here we have a knife that is pretty good for having. It's kind of just a cool carry around, show your friends, open a letter or a box every once in a while. Not real heavy duty usage. It's great. I mean, it's like you got yourself the glass breaker, which actually does work. And it's just a solid metal smash. Then you have the clip, which is for riding deep in the pocket. So all that pops out really is the glass breaker. A few cool things about it are the fact that it's just ninja factor. Just boom, ninja factor. So it's pretty cool because you get the kind of, hey guys, look at this, and everyone's like, oh my god, that's so awesome, So it's just kind of cool to have. Obviously, I paid a whopping $20 for this knife. Yeah, so obviously, you really can't use this for much flaws. There's quite a few of them, but they're so minor for just kind of a light usage knife that doesn't really matter. The blade itself, see how it wobbles? Kind of wobbles from side to side. Yeah, and the blade quality is kind of crappy. Doesn't really have much of an edge. I'm not scared to run this over my face because I know it's not going to cut me. So, I mean, you could bench sharpen this or, hand sharpen this thing, but really don't see the purpose. If you want a really nice knife that you want to be really sharp, go with a Microtech. Differences between this and a Microtech. This was $20. A Microtech of similar stature is roughly $375. For a very similar knife, but the difference is it's not. Those Microtechs are handmade. I mean, and it's got a cool carbon fiber inlay, which I think they just put in just so they can make it more expensive. Because honestly, it does nothing besides look really badass. They've got the same size blade. I forget what the name of a Microtech, but a friend of mine has one. He's got a Microtech that he paid $425 for, which was a bit much because he wasn't a smart chopper. But the blade of the Microtech and this are the exact same, except the difference is the handle of the knife on this one. See, here's the blade, here's the handle. See how much longer the handle is than the blade? The Microtech, the handle is exactly as long as the blade. So all this extra room is for those cheap little pieces in compartments, which I find nice. I like the bigger grip, but he's a smaller guy, so I guess it wouldn't hurt to have a knife that's only about that big. It stops right about here, the Microtech one. But the thing with this one is that it was really wobbly. The blade's always going to be wobbly. There's really not much I can do about that. It's just kind of crappily made. But what I did do is I tightened all the bolts down because they didn't really come very tight. They just kind of came screwed in. So I tightened them down without stripping them, of course, because then you really can't do anything to it. And then I just took a little dab of super glue and put it on the thread, and then I screwed it in, which you kind of have to be careful of because it can get all over your knife, which it doesn't hurt your knife, but it just looks kind of bad. And now they're sitting and they're fine, and I did the same with the glass breaker. I triple glued it. I glued the threads, then I glued the glass breaker to the clip, and I glued the clip to the knife. So this thing is not gonna come off. I mean, it's pretty solid for how much I paid for it. So if you want just kind of a cheap, kind of cool, look at this, light usage, I might cut things every once in a while, it's a great knife. But, yeah. So if you're, as I said, if you're looking for a high quality, nice knife with a nice sharp blade, cool, then go with a Microtech or an Infidel Benchmade. But this in particular knife is just pretty cool to have. Just any OTF knives are just cool in general. And I got mine from swords.com. I decided to get the blackened blade because I think it looks better. It's got the little 6 holes right there. I mean, it's a cool knife, but it's just not that high quality. So yeah, tell me what you think, and hopefully this helped you out if you're kind of new or just looking at some neat stuff. Yeah, so War Game Help signing off.